We're back on May 23rd, 2023 for Loddy and Mac in the cul-de-sac. Sacking it up. Loddy studio. Angry Jay in the house. The Dahnfather and the Commish hovering over us. Ready to spit wisdom about the Yanks. Because the Yanks are back. But before we get to that, LODMAC_Yanks on Twitter, Instagram, Loddy and Mac Sports. Skygazer Brewing still dumping money into the to our foundation. L&R Tax Associates still wrapping up the season. Chiz Clothing, weekly checks, Twister Baseball Clinics, and Frank's Transmissions. Making sure we're still up and running, guys. Thank you, sponsors. To the theme of today, we got a few topics. The theme, the Yanks are back. We all know it. Angry Jay even knows it, I think. Or are we going to have to listen to the same old? But, guys, 29-20. If I told you former MVP Giancarlo Stanton would be out for a significant amount of time, and we played the kids, Rodon never towed the rubber, and Severino pitched one time for, 5 innings?
I would have said yes.
You would have believed this record?
No, I would have believed that they were injured.
Hey, relax, Commish. Don't take the Angry Jay approach here. We're 29-20, and the Orioles are in big trouble this week.
The Dahnfather feels it, too. You know what's coming, right?
What's coming?
They'll be in first place probably 4th of July. What do you think? 4th of July?
Well, I think Mac's point was, if anybody said all these things, would you take 29-20? No. At the beginning of the season, would you take 29-20 right now? No. You would not as Yankees fans. Don't lie.
I would. No, I wouldn't have, especially after last year. Weren't they like 57-20 at one point?
52-18.
52-18. I mean, that's just nuts. Obviously, they weren't that good.
Judgy's been out. Stanton was out.
They're always out.
They are.
Judge isn't always out.
Yes, he is.
You watched last year?
If anybody ever questions, and not that anybody in this room would, the importance of Aaron Judge, as soon as he comes back, the Yanks just take off.
Bing, bang,
They just
boom.
take off. I mean, it's incredible. 7 home runs in 8 games, and Bader's playing well.
Rizzo.
In typical Yankee fashion, he's 25 for 30, and they give him the day off on Sunday. Too hot. Let's get him out of the lineup.
They won in spite of it, but I know what you're saying.
Who's next? Who's designated next? Who's going down next?
I feel like a little DJ LeMahieu action going down.
Yeah?
That's my call, I think. Yeah.
You're talking hurt, not designated for a assignment.
No, I think he's going to get hurt at some point. Well, because it's convenient, because Donaldson's revving it up, right? And Boone came out today to the media and said when Donaldson comes back, he's going to play almost every day at third base. So, like the Dahnfather said, these guys come back, other guys are going to go down. This is just the Yankee way.
But speaking of going down, Mr. Hicks, we thank him for his service.
No, we
For
don't.
me, that was about a year and a half. You have to give Hal McBroke a little credit here because he brings in a couple baseball guys, gets away from totally relying on analytics, and I don't think it was anything besides the voice of those two guys telling the powers that be change needs to be made, and the first one is getting rid of Hicks. I believe that happened.
Angry Jay, talk to us about that, because I did think Minaya and Sabian would have some indirect influence on the organization. Who the heck knows if they had any say on the Hicks thing? It was a long time coming, but he should have been DFA'd 2-3 years ago.
But he wasn't, and now we hired these guys, and he's out.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's making the decision.
Who's he?
Both of these guys, Minaya and Sabian,
No,
they're not.
We're not saying that, but you
Like
never know.
he's like Loddy just said, he should have been gone 2 or 3 years ago. They're afraid to admit a mistake. I mean, he's been a stiff for 3 years, and we trot him out there. So now we're giving Hal McBroke credit for finally getting rid of the guy.
I'm giving him credit for getting Cashman, at least somebody that's not Cashman. He's trying to get him to be less hot, period.
Change.
You know how they used to tape the punter to the goalpost at the end of the first game, first practice in the NFL training camps? I think Minaya and Sabian did that to Cash, left him in the office overnight, taped him to his hard drive, and the next thing you know, Hal McBroke has brought in a couple guys that's going to make it not a science but a sport. And we weren't feeling it, finally, and we got rid of him.
Whatever way it happened, he's gone, thank God.
Yeah, but they have no culture. That's what the problem is. It's based on numbers and scientific data. And
Not anymore.
Their leader doesn't even play. He's wearing a tank top in right field, catching fly balls. Not
anymore.
He's 3 weeks away from starting a rehab assignment. Like, come on, dude.
Not anymore.
Yeah, and they're all excited again. We're going to play the Rays or the Astros. They'll kick the out of us. It's like,
family
we beat the
show,
Reds.
but
We beat the
we
Reds.
split with them.
We just beat the
We
Reds.
split with them. We didn't have Sevy or Rodon back yet.
I like the way they're playing.
Giancarlo. They're
Sevy,
back.
Sevy's throwing his 75 pitches again. We're still stretching him out. When we get the fat guy back from his chronic back injury,
Yanks are back.
Yanks are back.
It's unreal.
Yanks are back.
Yep.
It's unreal.
I got my Stan shirt on. They are back.
Raise under, Jay. Raise under.
That is a great call.
So I was hoping that this was writing on the wall for Donaldson, Commish, but he came out and backed Donaldson today and said he's going to play.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's what you need to know.
Hold on.
I
That's
would
Sabian.
rather see Donaldson
Manaya.
go than Hicks.
Who?
I'd rather see Donaldson go than Hicks.
The only thing I say is we know Donaldson's not coming back next year at least because the
Right.
contract is up. That's the only saving grace. But, man, I was telling Bobby Mack today, the way LeMahieu plays third base, why did we've gone over this, but it was not necessary for him to be on the team last year. They didn't need a third baseman.
For the
We had a
clubhouse.
third
He said
baseman.
it was for the clubhouse. That's
he's
what
a
his
great
line
clubhouse
was.
guy arguing
Yeah.
with the White Sox shortstop.
Yeah, ask Judge if he likes him. He doesn't.
Nobody in the league likes him. But, hey, we're back. We're going to get rid of him.
Yanks are back.
Sabian and Manaya, they're going to tape him to a lamppost one more time.
Hit him with a math book.
He's going to crank him with an Algebra 2 book. Hey, how about our division, though?
It's pretty good.
I mean, everybody over 500.
Who's in
right?
last place?
And every team.
Toronto or Boston?
Toronto.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Easy.
Toronto now.
And every.
No. I
want to talk about Toronto. And
I dislike Toronto more than I dislike Boston.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't like them. I wouldn't go that far, but.
Oh,
But every team is plus runs in a division. That's to me, that's amazing. And there's two divisions where only one team is plus runs. That'd be the AL Central and NL East. Mets couldn't be reached for comment. Playing better, but our division, holy cow!
when's the last time the AL Central was any good, where they had three legitimate teams?
When Verlander was there,
It's like the NFC East, Mac.
They don't even have one legitimate
Yeah,
team
you know
now.
that.
As it gets right now.
you know that. Yeah. So Severino, Rodon, wanted to touch on them. I guess we did. Yanks are back. I'm so excited. Big week. The Birds, and then we got the Padres, I think.
Yeah,
And
and the Red Sox coming
They're
up.
kind
I
of a
think
joke.
on 2 different series.
I heard a trivia question this weekend that there's been only one team. I don't know if this is true. There's been only one team that's had 5 MVPs on the roster at the same time, and it's a very recent team. Anyone know who it would be?
Dodgers?
Yep. Can you name them? It was last year, or 2 years ago, maybe.
Betts and Bellinger off the top of my head.
2.
Freddie
Freeman.
Freeman.
3.
Kershaw.
4.
The shortstop?
No, I said him. I guessed him. I was wrong. Semi-decent hitter.
Pujols.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Man. But
That's
then you
crazy.
think, who has the money to sign these guys? Because you're former MVP, even if you're way past your prime, you're still paying for a former MVP. But do we have – how many do we have right now? Stanton.
Stan and Judgy.
2.
Stanton and Judgy.
Did Donaldson ever win it with Toronto?
I think he did.
Yes,
he did.
So 3.
That was 10 years ago when we should have got him. We're gobbling him up now.
Not Cole. How about the Mark Bryant Rizzo years that he never snagged an MVP, right?
Toronto's 25 and 23. They're in last.
2 games over.
Yep.
If they only had Manaya and Sabian, they'd be pushing the buttons and getting rid of some of those bums. How about the manager? He either called
Frat boy or fat boy?
somebody fat boy or a
Schneider
baited
for
frat boy.
Toronto, yeah.
Yeah. When
How do you
call
get away with that?
When you call somebody fat, you probably shouldn't be fat yourself. I'm just saying. Like that guy's telling fat boy to sit down. He's probably mixing a salad himself.
I'd never say it.
As much as we don't like Boone, man, he's feisty over there. He won't back down. Boone, he protects his players. He defends those guys, and he's not afraid to yell across the diamond either.
Pete Walker, a former UConn pitcher,
Yeah,
getting in the mix.
right.
What does he do?
Pitching coach.
For who?
Pitcher goes for Toronto.
I didn't know that.
Boone
Wow.
told him to sit down the other day.
Told me he's crazy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, every
Sit down,
time
Pete.
Boone goes nuts, the lineup takes a turn for the worse anyway. Remember the effing Savages T-shirt?
Yeah.
And they get a hit for like 3 weeks. Guardy's smashing the top of the dugout.
How about Herman? You think about that?
Oh, sticky fingers.
Doesn't strike me as anything different than Pineda. Just these are loose cannon guys. You know, they get everybody's watching. They're still going out and doing it. Are they the only ones cheating? No, but I mean, geez, how obvious was that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
His
he got
uniforms
caught
are
once already, and
Brand
the second
new,
time he walks
pristine.
out,
He's also had a domestic abuse thing too.
Yeah.
So like maybe it's the end of it for him. We got Rodon coming back.
The umpire said it's the worst they've ever
He's throwing
seen.
at 90 feet. That's right. He should be ready to pitch any time now.
He shook his hand. They couldn't let go.
Yeah, it's the worst they've ever
It's like
seen.
flypaper.
Boone kind of just shook his head. He's like, "Oh, jeez."
Alonso
Come
with a comeback year.
Walk off.
He's only got 17 dingers.
Thank God.
Moving away from baseball, we're gonna have all summer
Yeah,
for
we
this.
got out of that one quick, huh?
Last week, I said the event I would have liked to be at was the real life Hickory Huskers game. What do we have? Angry
I had
had
the 80 Olympic team.
80 Olympics. We had some boxing with the
Muhammad Ali
Commish.
and Frazier.
Yep, down goes
Commish
Frazier.
and myself had the
Boxing, yeah.
Frazier Ali.
Oh,
on
the
different
two of
years.
them.
Yep.
And then we had, what'd you have? Something silly, right?
2004 World Series.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's a huge fan. So pained at all this losing. We're going to stick with them forever now. Nobody talks about you. What, have you watched a game this year?
Couple innings, not a game.
Yeah.
How's Sale doing? He's done a little bit better the last couple outings, right?
Couldn't be a lot worse. He started off pretty rough.
No, I know.
I didn't know they had the big maple.
Yeah.
Kenny Naylor commented to us on YouTube saying, you know, they got, if Paxton and Sale get over X amount of innings, he's saying they're going to make a statement in the division.
They're a scrappy team. I mean,
With that offense, I don't put it past him. Right, Commish?
yeah.
I mean,
100%. I mean, if I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm thrilled compared to what you thought you were getting.
Yeah, but if I was a real Red Sox fan, I'd be paying attention. I'd be watching,
Well, he's
paying
got-
attention to baseball.
Jeffy's got Dahnfather's got golf on.
Yeah, who's got time for that?
Yoshida's played pretty well, huh?
Yeah. Good pop.
You called him as AL Rookie of the Year, I believe.
Yes, I did.
45 years old.
I had
but-
Volpe. That's not working out too good.
All right, so Loddy, you get to go first.
Oh, is this
The next
track?
event you'd like to be at.
The game I would want to be at. I'm gonna go just to rub it in to the Dahnfather a little bit. 1986 World Series, Game 6.
What happened there?
A little ninth inning heroics from the amazing Mets over the Bo Sox.
Mostly good hits? Is that the type of thing?
A little dink and dunk, and then a little something down the first baseline. But imagine those 1,000 Red Sox fans in Shea Stadium that day. They're getting ready to celebrate, and then all of a sudden, it was a tough night for them. And they never recovered, even though they were up 3-0 in Game 7 the next night. But you knew they weren't winning that
Remember
series.
Bogsy crying in the
Yeah, I
dugout
remember
afterwards?
Bogsy crying, and they already announced that. Was it Hurst as
Bruce Hurst
MVP?
was the MVP.
Yeah. So I would have loved to be in New York City that night and maybe go out a little bit afterwards, celebrating the Mets.
And I think, didn't they set up the locker room for the celebration, too?
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Put up the plastic.
I remember watching that game, and I was in middle school, just in disbelief and happiness, though. I mean, pure joy. Dahnfather, you?
It's a comedy show right now?
No, I'm just saying. That was a great night, 1986, October. Oof.
In retrospect, do you feel bad for Buckner at all? I do.
Yeah.
Every
yeah.
time I see it, I feel he was a good player. And to have that.
He was a
defense-
borderline great
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
Stats, but his life was
Don't feel sorry for him at all.
life was never the same. Poor guy.
You made an error?
Yep.
I wonder what the cask and flagon was like that night.
Did you ever see the documentary on? They had I think it was on HBO about it. They talking to these old Bostonians. They're like saying it was like the darkest day and it's worse than when JFK died and stuff. They were saying it was unbelievable. They're like, oh, they said people were like actually going to the graveyard and stuff. Talking to their
That's awesome.
parents.
So that's mine, Bobby Mack. That's me.
That would have been a fun one to be at.
Commish, who you got?
Well, I'm going to stick with the World Series theme right here. I've got Reggie Jackson, 3 home runs. October 18th, 1977, Game 6 against the Dodgers. Would have loved them been there for that. Reggie was my first hero in baseball. Lou Piniella was my guy, but Reggie was my first hero. Remember watching it on TV, and if it's one of those things where I think I watched it on TV or I've seen the highlights so many times, but I think I watched it with my dad. I would have been 7 years old. Just a memory, and I think he hit 4 in a row, right? But 3 in that game.
Yeah.
Johnny,
Exactly.
I was hoping you'd push the glasses up while you were doing that? Reminded me of Mr. October.
Oh yeah,
Love
I
when he
twist
did that.
myself into a pretzel.
How about the Reggie chant?
How about what's a great thing from that night was when he was wearing a batting helmet in the top of the ninth inning in right field, and him running off the field with the fans when
Like Ray Allen,
he
right?
trucks
Smashing
back.
He was
people.
smashing people.
Yeah,
going
like
through.
Ray.
It
That's-
is hilarious. Hilarious.
What a moment, though. I just watched the Reggie documentary. It was pretty good on.
Yeah.
Did you watch
Saw
it?
the
Yeah,
Oh, I'd
that's
like
pretty
to
good.
see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see
the,
it.
the one with where they compared L.A. to New York quite a bit. That one, because there's a couple.
That
on
one's
him.
really good. The one
Yeah.
with Reggie's more about him trying to get in the front office and
Yeah.
racism and some of the things.
Gotcha.
It was really good.
What was it on?
I think it was on Prime. Amazon
Yeah.
Prime.
I got to check that out.
That was a good one. Commish.
Dahnfather.
I'm going to go to something
Red
else.
Sox here right here.
No,
Oh.
it's something that Mac's really interested in. It's the 2019 Masters, when Tiger came back and won his first major after 11 years, 2 years after having spinal fusion surgery.
His wife hit him at the golf club.
43 years old. Again, he beat some of the best golfers in the world. He didn't skate by. He beat Brooks Koepka, beat Dustin Johnson.
And his wife.
He
You're
beat
playing
Schauffele.
You're playing in the Masters. I mean, aren't you beating the best players in the world?
But he didn't have a bunch of
Wasn't a
chumps behind
scrimmage
him.
like you did it in the actual Masters?
He didn't have a bunch of chumps behind him. He had
All right,
the
I got
top,
you.
two
All
of the
right,
top three
there you
players
go.
in the leader.
I'm
in the
not going
world.
to dispute this guy on golf, so I believe you.
Oh, Jay will.
No, I didn't.
What a
you,
feat.
you were telling me he beat the best golfers.
Highest rated TV event of the year.
Was it really?
2019.
Did they
You guys
compare?
remember we were for the '96 one when he won it?
Coming from Cape Cod. I don't know if we had enough money for our breakfast, but we got it anyway.
How old was Tiger when he won that? 2019?
43.
How old was Jack? Was it 86 when Jack won the Masters?
He was
40,
46.
40.
46? No.
Well, because Mickelson won it when he was 48. And not the Masters, the PGA Championship.
Okay.
So.
I remember the Nicklaus one as a kid.
I remember that too. He just yes, sir. Like, was it Vern Lundquist yelling yes, sir?
Angry.
I'm gonna keep it dark.
Oh God. What else is new?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the 1972 Olympics with the United States basketball team and the Russian basketball team. Since I took a
You wanted to be at that one? Wow.
I want to
What
go
about it, Joe?
there.
I want to see it for myself. What did happen there? I want to witness that for myself.
That's
63
freaking
game
nuts.
63 game winning streak. They gave him 3 tries at the basket. They literally the ref blew the whistle, said do it again. And then somebody came down, they did it again. Somebody Olympic official came down and said do it again. They weren't ready this third time they did, they throw it down, the guy catches it, pushes off, puts it in the basket.
I would have loved.
They
to have
lose
seen that.
51 to 50. I would have liked to throw stuff at the official, maybe heckle him a
Can't
little
do
bit on the
that.
way
We
out.
can do that.
But what the people don't remember is, if you ever get to look at it, Doug Collins has probably made the 2 greatest free throws in the history of basketball. Like if you, they literally had like a 3-on-2, and they throw it to him, and he gets fouled with 3 seconds. He lands on his head, like he's like concussed, like at the free throw line. If you see it, he wouldn't even be allowed today to shoot the free throws, and he makes those 2, which are incredible. But one other thing that's pretty awesome from it is a bunch of the players on the Olympic team then refused to accept the silver medal, and they actually have it written in their will that they will not accept, and nobody in their family will. So it's a kind of a bad moment for the USA, but it had to be something to see.
You had no. If you were a fan in the crowd, you had no idea what was going on there.
Yeah, I think it was. I watched the documentary on it too. Like I
Same.
think it was Tom McMillan, the big tall dude.
Yep.
He said, I think his quote was, "We won the gold, but they tried to give us the silver."
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. In 1984, when we won the Olympics with Bobby Knight, didn't they lift up Henry Iva?
Henry Iba, yes,
Right.
yes, great call. Yep.
The players,
Who was the
Jordan
coach,
and
yeah.
Perkins and Ewing and all those guys. Yeah.
You know what, Angry? I was thinking of that one today, as a matter of fact, and for the sheer drama, unbelievableness to witness it yourself, because that story is really unbelievable, even
Yeah.
when you watch the video. Our great high school coach was our fabulous guest here. I could hear Coach Hunt saying there's no do-overs in baseball. You know, well, there's 2 of them that day.
Yeah.
You know, no
To
do-overs.
me, the Olympics when I was a kid, it was. I mean, that was even before me, but it was like such a thing I looked forward to. I thought everything was great. I couldn't wait for all the events. Like I watched even the terrible ones.
I agree because 1980, when we can kind of remember, we
Yeah.
didn't have a Summer Olympics.
Yeah.
So 84 in LA was the first one I really remember, and I didn't miss a thing. Like
Yeah.
we stayed at home and we watched that.
You know what else we
everything.
didn't have? You know what else we didn't have? A million channels.
Right.
Sports Center, although at first Sports Center was awesome, and we didn't have devices.
Phones, yeah.
So you couldn't not be in front of the TV for that. The track and field events? You kidding me?
Yeah, I don't watch them now.
Oh,
but
man.
then they were. I
Oh,
couldn't
Mary
wait.
Decker tab going down. I mean, come on.
Remember that?
Her and Zola
Was
Bud going
Bud,
at it?
yeah.
Zola had no sneakers. Like, get out of here. Get out of the way.
Tony Franklin over here? All right, I went Olympics too. Just because I thought I love amateur sports probably the most, and I thought this was a great moment. I think they were calling it not an exhibition sport, but it was like in transition to become an official Olympic sport. So there was some name for it. But in 1988, a deformed right-handed pitcher, the handicapped Jim Abbott, goes out there and beats South Korea 5-3. Jim Abbott was also the only pitcher to ever beat Cuba at some point the year before that. Beat him 5-3 in the gold medal game, and here's a weird reason why. Well, Abbott pitched a no-hitter for the Yanks, so we obviously got into him. You heard all the bad jokes. Yankees are real short-handed today. Oh no, they got everybody. Yeah, but Abbott's pitching. You know, all that kind of nonsense. But
the celebration of that game is incredible.
Yeah, pig pile, right?
Yeah, there were, I just remember it was a ground. It was 5-3. There was a ground ball to third, and as they're throwing it across the diamond, Dave Silvestri, remember the Incredible Hulk?
Yeah.
And he was playing short. He's like sprinting to
you know who was
tackle
playing
Abbott.
third?
No, was Tino the first base?
Ventura to Martinez.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Tino.
I just remember Silvestri, like he was sprinting to Abbott, like as soon as Ventura picked it up, like he didn't even watch.
Silvestri made that team?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so I did some digging about the guys on the team, and there's only 10 or 12 of names we would remember. Obviously, the great Jim Abbott. Andy Bennis, who
Yeah.
people thought would be a star. Tino, who was a star, and to me, the best name on this list. Mickey Morandini,
Yeah.
good player.
Yeah.
Scott Cervais, who
Yeah.
is
The catcher.
he a manager now?
He
He
was
was
for a
at
while,
one
yeah.
point, yeah. He got bounced.
Ed
Mariners.
Sprague.
Wow. All right.
That's a nice
Actually,
career.
you know what? Might have been Sprague at
Hit
third.
At third, yeah.
It was. But Ventura's on the team. So Robin Ventura, Dave Silvestri, the Incredible Hulk, Connecticut's own Charlie Nagy.
Wow,
Ben
I don't remember that one. Yeah.
Ben McDonald.
Yep.
It's an underrated
So great
team.
at LSU.
Yeah.
Tom Goodwin, speedy outfielder. Remember him? And Brett Barbary.
Oh,
So those
yeah. All right.
10 or 12
Not a bad
guys
team.
were on that team. But one last thing about it. So I get sappy with stuff like this. And one of the best singers of all
Try to
time,
keep it together.
nicknamed The Voice, Whitney Houston, One Moment in Time. Is that the name of the song?
Yeah.
It has all Olympic highlights in
Yeah.
the video. And I would only watch it at first for the highlights.
That's where
now
the
I
pig
love the
pile is,
song.
yeah.
Now I just love the song, but that moment and that video and many of the other things. I think Carl Lewis is walking through the air in his long jump or something like that. There's a couple cool highlights, many cool highlights, but that one is crazy and USA prevails. Jimmy
Anybody
Abbott.
think about the Dream Team, like putting them on their lists? Like,
No, I wouldn't want to have
For me,
been
it
there.
wasn't amateur. Obviously, it wasn't amateurism anymore, so it was a little bit of a turnoff.
I wouldn't have wanted to been there though. Like that. On TV is good
best
enough for
collection
me.
of talent in the history of the
Yeah,
world.
but-
You wouldn't
Yeah,
want to see
60
them live?
point. It's like watching, Eastern play.
It was a
conference game
phenomenon
against
in
somebody, you know what I
'92.
mean?
That was a phenomenon, though.
How about Don Larson? Anyone think of Don Larson?
That's a good call.
That would've
Yeah.
been a good one.
That's yeah.
I know we're coming back. We're coming back next
That's
segment.
okay, good call.
So, guys, has there been an athlete that's had to come over more of a physical challenge, a born physical challenge in Jim Abbott to get to the point he's been to? I know there's that one-armed basketball player. The highlights are just unbelievable.
I mean, the guy that
Hey.
just the track guy that just killed his girlfriend.
Pistorius.
Yeah. That's his name? Yeah. Pistorius.
Oh, without the
Yeah.
no legs?
Yeah.
Blades on, yeah.
Yeah. Does that who was the golfer too that they wouldn't allow?
Casey Martin.
Yeah. He doesn't. They didn't allow him, right? Because he
Wouldn't let
couldn't
him
walk.
take a cart.
Yeah.
No, he coaches Oregon golf.
Yeah.
What about the player for the Seahawks? One.
The linebacker.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's a
yeah.
good call. Yeah. One hand guy.
How about JPP? You down with JPP?
He doesn't.
Talking about the fugitive, Jay.
Yeah, it's a good call.
How about that
He
guy?
did
though?
it. Peter Pan right here.
Can you believe he hasn't been seriously injured on a comebacker with the level of hitters he's had to face? I
Who,
mean,
Harrison Ford?
come on, man, Jim Abbott. That's crazy.
I tell you what, it is phenomenal how
Great
fast he got
fielder.
that thing back.
He's
in
a
his
great
hands.
fielder.
Man. Anyway, those are my guys. Let's talk NBA. Lakers go down in 4. Last night, I think they had a shot. They pulled, the old play to veteran, and Tristan Thompson was in there trying to make a difference. That didn't work either. Jokic prevailed. We'll get back to Jokic. More importantly,
Can I jump in real
is it
quick?
possible this is the end of the king?
Tristan Thompson, you mentioned him. Did you guys see the halftime talk? They talked to him. You know what the first question was? LeBron has 30. How's he do it? To him, they were asking Tristan Thompson.
What?
Yeah, that was the question from Lisa Salters.
I
He's
think-
a really good player.
I think he's coming back.
He's not going anywhere.
Play with Bronny.
He wants a new team because he's not good enough. You're going to tell me he's not taking the farewell tour, captain attention,
Good point.
and he wants to. Commish just said he wants to play with his brother.
Plus, he wants people to talk about him now after he lost.
Yeah.
He still wants people to talk about him. So
I don't know. Didn't he average like 25, 10, and 7 for the playoffs? I mean,
the Lakers
he's still
played
on top of his game.
the Lakers did
played,
not play-
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they
played
didn't play a
well.
bad game.
They just lost to a better team.
Denver doesn't turn the ball over. They move the ball. What did LeBron said? This is the best team we've played against in my 4 years in LA. So the best team we faced. Most complete.
I mean, they went to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, they're not that far away. If he does
He was
decide,
talking about
you
the
guys
Nuggets.
are thinking maybe he's going to go somewhere else. Let's just say he stays in L.A. with him and Davis. They'll get another player.
Yeah, Kyrie goes
Yeah.
to the games now. You see
That's
that?
what I'm saying.
He doesn't go to any of his real games. He just goes.
They'll get Kyrie. Kyrie will play in 30 regular season games because the regular season in the NBA means absolutely nothing, and
He's
they'll
going.
be ready to go.
He's going nowhere. His
May.
son's at USC
Yeah.
next year. He's not going anywhere.
I don't see him going anywhere either.
He's a
I don't.
fraud.
Plus, he's still a hell of a player, whether you like him or not.
He is for one half.
I have a funny feeling that he ends up somehow in a crazy swap of players in Golden State, and a year later, Bronny comes out. They do everything they can to draft him, and Steph, Clay, Draymond, LeBron, and Bronny are out there. I'm telling you.
Can't win.
I can't see Steph doing it with him.
Well, at first I couldn't, but now, they're all lovey-lovey, and Draymond has totally turned
Yeah.
the tables with him.
I could see Draymond going to L.A. in a trade.
That I would like to see.
If anything.
No way he'd be as good with anyone else, and I'm not even sure he's that good.
He wants max money next year.
I hope he gets hit by a bus.
Is he a free agent? Draymond Green?
After this year.
Angry.
After this year?
That's pretty angry.
Restricted.
Restricted. Okay.
You're going to give him $40 million?
No chance.
Nah.
When the Celtics lose a series, I'm not saying tonight. I believe they got to win in them at some point. Luckily, they have a level-headed ownership or front office, and I think Brad will handle it the right way. But do you guys think there's major change? And the biggest one, do you think they finally break up the Jays?
Let's hear from the Celtic guys. What do you guys think?
You can go first.
I've been saying this to everybody that's been mentioning it to me. If they trade either one of them, they're jackasses. It's so hard to get those guys. They've been to 5 conference championships in 7 years. I know the ultimate goal is to win the whole thing. Right? Has anybody traded Devin Booker? Like, he's not going anywhere. These guys like being here. They've gotten beat. They coughed up game 1 and game 2, and they got their butts handed to them. So now they're not bad players. It's easy to yell at the 2 best players. Listen, I'm not blaming Joe Mazzulla either. Like, he was handed an impossible situation. I mean, they lost the horn dog there in the middle of the summer, and Hardy had already his top assistant had signed with Utah, and Damon Stoudemire, we just mentioned, had went to Georgia Tech. So their 3 top guys went, and a month before the season, they need a coach. So Mazzulla was the guy, But like I said to you guys, they've been losing games like this all year. Like in the last
you
5
did say
minutes, they play terrible in the last 5 minutes, and you can't fire the players. So
I'll ask you guys this.
get a veteran coach and run it back with at least those 2 guys. I'm not saying don't tweak it. Maybe take the kid gloves off Time Lord and let him play more than 20 minutes because they handle it like he's a Yankee. It's like Stanton.
He's so
You know,
good.
Who's this?
Robert Williams.
He played 30 games this year, but 35? It's something ridiculous. And they got him on like an 18-minute. It's like Severino. Like he's got an 18-minute.
Horford couldn't make a shot in the last round, so why not play Williams?
Does Jaylen Brown seem angry at something? Like, what's going on with him?
He's been bad, but I mean, this series.
I don't know if he'd be angry. I mean, I love Jaylen Brown.
Me too.
I love the Celtics, but I think he's going to go. I think they're going to shake things up. Should they? I agree with angry. I don't think they should. You hear all the trade rumors out there now, right? Dame, Jalen for Dame. Like, that's what I keep hearing now all day in the radio.
Yeah, but
Jalen for Dame.
I
wouldn't
mean,
do it? Which team wouldn't do it?
The Celtics shouldn't do it. The guy's 33 years old.
talking
I
about
love Dame, but like, you're gonna be the Knicks. You're gonna be picking.
What
50
what is that? Where'd that come from?
10 to you're gonna be 10 to 14, and
What the hell is that?
Ping pong balls again.
But do
I don't,
we see what
I don't
the
want to
Celtics-
watch. I don't want to watch the 90 Celtics anymore.
But do you see what the Celtics are going to be paying those guys now? It's
So
$614
what?
million those guys are eligible
So
for.
who cares? Like we don't,
To pay Dame too, though.
Yeah.
So what do they need? What piece is missing? What pieces
Point,
are
they need
missing?
a real point.
They need a
guard.
real
Just
point
a
guard.
legitimate point guard, I think. Yeah, that's what I
And
see.
they have.
And where does that guy exist? Because the real point guards now shoot the ball 30 times.
Rajon Rondo's coming back next year.
Well, he was a real point guard.
They need They need a younger version of that guy,
Can I ask you
or
a
Mike
question?
Conley, or somebody like that. Not obviously Mike Conley now, but a young Mike Conley.
Point guard.
Yes.
So let me ask you a question about the point guard's job in the NBA right now, and just like the games themselves. So many of my buddies, even Loddy, say, I can't watch if it's not the Knicks. Like, I like to watch it, but sometimes I'm sitting there, especially if it's a late one, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, it's the same offense all the time.
Yeah.
And kids have emulated it to a point where it's sickening. I watched some AAU just this weekend or whatever, and it's like these high screen and rolls to guys that can't execute either part of it. Like, whatever happened to just some sort of quick hitter motion offense? Like back in the Doc days with Garnett and Pierce and them, they had some cool quick hitters. And then other than that, it just seemed like they played motion offense. Like you passed and you didn't just stand there.
But they let the math nerds take over and it's shoot nothing but threes. That's what the Celtics do now. They didn't make any the other day, and they got embarrassed.
That's why I hate to admit this, and I might have mentioned it last time. As much as I don't like the Heat, that ball moves, right? They're drawing two guys. They're making
Denver's
a
fun to
nice
watch, though.
in Denver. Like, I don't know what the ratings are going to be for those two teams. Probably not great, but those two teams play basketball the way we all like to watch it.
Yeah.
In Miami, have you guys ever seen anybody like?
Lottie said he wouldn't watch it when the Knicks were out. Go ahead.
Well, you talk about point guards. How many
No, I'm
times
talking about you saying you weren't gonna watch
does Brunson pass the ball? I mean, he's fantastic, but can he pass a freaking ball? Him or Randall?
Let me ask you something, Max.
Man,
Is Steph Curry a point guard? Because they list him as a point guard.
No.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's almost like positionless basketball now. Like,
The thing is, because he's more skilled than most point guards, but still he's taking more shots than
Yeah.
anyone on the team. So he's not. I mean, I guess that could happen in many eras, but it's not the norm for the point guard to hog the whole game. You know, the whole game, you dribble it all the time, you shoot it all the time, and
Harden.
you don't run back
yes,
all the
there you
time.
go. Is he a point guard? I mean, is
He
LeBron?
led Harden led the week in assists.
Is Trae Young a point guard? There's a new term, lead guard,
he's
has
Steph,
come up.
right?
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Jimmy Butler. Like, when people mention the top 15, 20 players in the NBA, I don't think his name automatically comes to mind. But I'm telling you, I've never seen a player that you don't hear anything about all regular season that just elevates his game in the playoffs the way he has. Have you guys remember anybody like this guy?
No.
In terms of kind of under the radar, and then April and May comes, and he's the best player on the court in any series.
Well, remember in the bubble when they finally beat the Lakers in like game 2 or 3, and he was woofing at LeBron saying, "You're in trouble now," because in his mind he thought that they had a shot, and they didn't have a shot. I mean, I think Hero might have been like a rookie, was he?
Bam was hurt.
Duncan Robinson, Hero's out there. Bam didn't play. You know, they got Haslam out there running around with a gray beard. But he has immense belief in himself, and the reason is he knows he's tougher than everybody. Like I'm not saying he beat him up in a boxing. I'm saying he's mentally gonna keep coming at you no matter what you say or do to him.
I take him on my
Quick, would
team
you
any
rather?
day.
Jamal Murray, De'Aaron Fox.
I'll take Jamal Murray.
I'll take the
Better shooter.
Yeah,
I'll take
take the
Fox.
legitimate shooter.
I'll take Swiper.
Yeah, he can scoop. Commish.
Swiper.
Is that his
Swiper,
nickname,
don't
or did
swipe
you
me.
guys just make that up? By the way, speaking of Swiper, did you hear the new term in baseball now, the sweeper?
Yeah.
What is that? Something
like
new?
a new pitch, right?
Yeah.
Like
What?
a
I've heard
gyro
it
ball.
several times now. It's not a curveball or slider. They call it a sweeper.
That's not what the umpire does to home plate.
No, I'm not even sure what the sweeper is. What kind of pitch is
What
it?
the heck were they saying? Is it like a slider and a? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's what the slurve probably used to be.
Loddy, who's winning
be.
the Yankee game?
2-0 bad guys.
Will the Celtics put up a fight, or they're gonna get a win?
So I say no, but they better do something because Jaylen Brown actually came out today and did the same thing you were just saying about Butler and Kevin Millar back in the day. Like, don't let us win a game. He said that today.
He said that.
Yeah, Jalen better play today,
Yeah,
boy.
I'm not feeling that.
Better
I'm not
play
feeling
today,
that.
boy.
Wow, I kind of like it. Let's just a quick touch on college basketball. UConn just not kind of in a holding pattern. Big 12's coming knocking maybe. Big East, do they go for the money? Do they stay for the right thing? We've been down this road before. What do they do? And Rutgers taking a huge hit in the transfer portal, but it looks like they might be able to turn around and make a huge addition in the transfer portal. So what I'm really trying to bring up here, guys, this new process with going to the combine and then coming back and then not the agent, then you got to this date, and then the transfer portal itself. Is either thing good for college basketball?
Well, it's definitely changed the way you have to coach. I mean, it's not the X's and O's anymore. And
It's
just-
1 year deals.
yeah, 1 year deals.
It's like it's almost like a professional team. Like it changes.
So is the coaching staff basically taking on the role of agent?
Yeah, the coach has got to be
Somebody
on
is.
Recruiter?
Coach has got to
Somebody
be
is.
on the
Promoter?
phone. Yep. They got a staff of guys that are just on the phone, checking to see who's disenchanted with their programs and do they want to. Like, there's guys they're being contacted, that are perfectly happy in programs that are being contacted by coaches to go to their university. It's like you said, it's free agency. It's 1 year deals. The days of developing players in a program, those are gone. The mid majors are in big trouble. I don't know how they can compete eventually. I really don't.
no money there. You know.
Well, they can compete for that one lucky year. They can't develop a team like, George Mason did back in those days,
I think you're going to lose a lot of good coaches too along the way because at some point you got to throw up your hands and say this is not worth it.
And we've already lost
Build
some.
anything.
Yeah, it's not like they need the money. I mean, they're multi-millionaires and set for life and for generations to come. But how about the old school gym rat coaches? They got to be just the integrity of the whole thing. And I know people wanted it, but this is what you ask for and this is what you get. And it's just not what we love.
Jay Wright won't even come to the game. He sends a robot. You see that?
About
Jeez.
400 times.
All right.
Hey, speaking of UConn, just change it. Andre Jackson has until next Wednesday. Is
I think
it?
it's the
31st?
last day of May.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is
And
he-
Newton too.
They coming back? You think they're going? What do you think?
Well, Newton didn't get invited.
Yeah, I think Newton's going to have no choice.
Newton's going to have to come back or go to another university.
And
Jackson
was at the combine.
Yes.
he didn't distinguish himself in terms of points.
Think he's coming back.
Just like you saw
He
with
did what he
UConn.
does.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got 4 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists.
Blocks
Like,
and an
yeah,
athletic play that made him all in all,
yep. But
He comes back,
in
I
terms
believe.
of shooting the ball,
Yeah.
it's just never
I
going to
think he's
happen
gone.
for him.
You think he's
I
gone?
think he's gone. I think he's going to
I
get
have-
enough attention to.
I have no idea either way.
Maybe go in the developmental league and work his way through. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, he does so much good stuff,
Sinogo?
Snogo had a big game.
He's gone, right? He's
Yeah,
officially
I mean,
gone.
he's not coming back, but he actually.
He's officially gone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's gone, and he had a big game in the combine
Yeah.
stuff.
Played really
Wow.
well.
That was somebody everybody was talking about.
I hope
Man.
he makes it. I mean, I hope he has a good 10-year career. But
They were saying he's a little more athletic than people thought. Some of these NBA guys were kind of impressed with his athleticism from what I read.
Who's his comp? Who's Sonogo's comp in the NBA?
Now? No, nobody.
I brought up Montrezl Harrell not too long ago, but he can make a 15, 16, 17 footer.
I'd go Charles Oakley.
Well, that's
Without
what
the
he said
disposition.
today, though.
I said,
And
there
Sunoco's
is
got a
no-
way better touch than Charles Oakley.
No, Oakley could shoot it a little
God,
bit.
if he
15
turns into
footer.
Charles Oakley, God
Yeah,
bless him. Good
yeah,
for him.
yeah.
Because Oakley had a hell of a career.
He won one, right?
He was with Jordan.
The Knicks.
This guy,
Remember
this guy,
Remember Ewing's
This guy's
for the layup?
This guy's
I know.
unbelievable.
Smitty for the layup shot. All right. Quick football update.
Crocker, take my spot.
Dahnfather, what do you got?
There's not much for a football update. I don't know if you heard today the NFL has a second round of gambling investigations. They're saying there's
not.
going to be new releases coming out from a second wave of new names. Don't know who, where, what teams to follow up for the
Hopefully,
the Lions.
Deshaun Watson's involved in that.
So I thought that was interesting. They got to change those rules anyways. But I know Mac. I did see something on social media. You might have seen it today too about an NFL player who just signed with his 14th NFL team. You might have seen it on social media. He set the record for most NFL teams he's played for. Just signed this week. Who is that player? Most NFL teams ever. Just signed today, so he's active.
Defensive back?
Should I give you his number too? I mean,
No, just the position would be good.
not a
because-
defensive back.
I have no
Long
idea.
snapper.
No, those guys are valuable.
Quarterback.
So backup quarterback.
14 teams.
Yeah. Is it a McCown?
He was on the field this year. He played in a playoff game this year.
We're getting dumped.
All right, 3, 2,
Got it, go ahead.
1. Josh Johnson.
Oh,
Wow. 14?
Back with the Ravens now, so he's had 24 stints, 14 teams.
he did well in that playoff game.
That's unbelievable. Another quick question. Who was the first quarterback to throw? Because Omar Jackson said he wants to throw for 6,000 yards this year. I don't know if he can count to 6,000, but who was the first quarterback to ever throw for 5,000?
Drew Brees.
What just happened here?
He's part 2 of the
First
question.
quarterback to throw for
No,
6,000
to
yards.
throw for 5,000.
5,000 yards. Marino?
Yes. Who's thrown for 5,000 the most?
Drew Brees.
Say it again. 5 times Drew Brees. 5 times.
He's
he
a
threw
little
for-
guy, too.
Yep.
Who can't count to 6,000? What was that? Oh, Drew Brees. Where is Marino now?
Where's
Not in
AJ
any
Bernal?
studio shows or anything, right? Is Isotoner still in
Isotoner's
business?
I mean, he's retiring on the Ace Ventura money.
Fringe Academy Award for Marino on that one.
Snubbed.
What would you rather, Ace Ventura or The Fugitive?
Ace.
What do you mean by would you rather?
That's all you got
it.
for the
That's it for
NFL?
football.
That's
All right.
it? No trivia? No other
I just
trivia?
gave you 2 trivia
No
questions.
other. I need nothing else. All right.
All right.
Jets.
Little who'd you rather? Gonna do a warm up. Loddy knows this is on my mind. It is the last time, mark it down, that we'll be mentioning Aaron Hicks. But just he made me think today of, because on Twitter, I don't know if you guys have seen this. There's a couple different takes. There's one where they show him hitting like a playoff home run. Remember the one where he like puts his head down and acts cool or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna miss this guy." And then the ones with like the number 31 shirt, and they're like, "What are we gonna do with this?" Act like it was freaking Dave Winfield's, buddy. What are you talking about? But then there's the ones like us where they said these are Yankee fans after Aaron Hicks was DFA'd, and it showed like this World Cup like crowd in like a plaza, just going bananas on each other, jumping around, and that's us. So reflecting on his career to this point, and I do believe somebody takes a chance. I think we see him this year somewhere.
I agree.
But as a career, $10 million outfielder, 230 hitter. This is 11 years in the making right now. This is year number 11. 230.
Stay hot, Cash.
230. Hit 230. $10 million a year.
What did he hit?
230. 101 dingers. And then the big thing with the Yankees switch hitter, like they used to say this with the sheriff. Well, I got to tell you something. When they came up right-handed, I turned the TV off anyway. But then you figure he's got a little speed, right? Center fielder. Did have plus arm for outfielder.
Hell of a golf swing.
He's 65 for 91 stealing bags. So, between a third and a half of the time he was thrown out. Like this is not a good player. And so I'm thinking, who were the other guys we had where they were like also rans for us? And first guy, maybe not an also ran because I didn't believe how good he was, but Luis Polonia. Can anyone guess his career batting average? Loddy, don't say it.
I won't.
288.
264.
274.
293
Career?
over like 14
Yeah,
years.
he was a pretty good
He's
hitter.
tough out.
Remember
yeah.
the size of his glove?
Yep.
It was bigger than him. Didn't they make like the glove size rule? Didn't they change it because of him?
You remember the guy sitting next to us asking him who he's taking to the prom this year?
Somebody from Milwaukee, I bet. But anyway, you guys remember the name Jay Payton
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the Mets, right? And I think who else? Rockies, some other National League team. Same amount of years. Hit 279. That was 280. 119 dingers. Like, you think Jay Payton's almost like a platoon guy. You play a lefty, and then you play him. And
I would have taken him.
do you remember the Red Sox? I know you remember him. Troy O'Leary.
Oh, yeah.
Number
Two-
25.
274
Harkey thought he was.
Special.
Yeah.
with 127
Him
dingers. Who was the right-handed him at that time? Because didn't they have somebody kind of like him that didn't play as much? Maybe a Darren Lewis type, something like that.
Darren Lewis was on that team at one
Center
point.
fielder, yeah.
But then they also had Trott, whose numbers dwarfed this guy's. Reggie Jefferson, who hit the ball very hard. And then they had Carl Everett, and it's Everett, 272 with 200-something homers. Like, really? And these guys, I mean, I know it's all relative because Michael Jordan's highest salary was $4 million, right? But, like, $10 million? These guys, I'd be surprised if they made more than $2 million a year, these guys. They
I
hit
got a Jay Payton.
50, 60 points higher.
I got a Jay Payton trivia question for you. Jay Payton and Sandy Alomar are the only two guys to do what against a New York Yankee?
Oh, they homered off him. Oh,
yeah.
in the playoffs.
In the playoffs. The only two playoff dingers he's given up.
Jay Payton?
Jay Payton
Yeah,
had a
I
home
think
run
he
in
made it
game
6 to
2.
5 or
yes,
something, right?
Game 2 of the
Yeah.
2000 World Series at a home run in the ninth inning to make it, like Lottie says, 6-5.
Big Papi didn't get him?
Nah.
Who did he get? Or did he just
Everybody
single up,
else.
he just single up the
You
middle?
got everybody
Oh,
else.
well, he pitched every other
Sturts,
inning.
Quantrill, Gordon, whoever else Torrey pitched every day.
Couple Yankee guys to compare him to. And again, we just let these guys walk. Good Yankees, but we let them walk. Ricky Leday, closer to him, 243.
I kinda liked him.
I
I
liked
thought he
him
was
too.
going to be better. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, me too.
he had only over 400 at-bats one time in his career.
Just remember against San Diego in the World Series, I'm like, wow, this guy can
Kevin
hit,
Brown, yeah, he was
right?
smoking balls.
Yeah.
Did he make a good catch in one of the perfect games or whatever?
Yes.
Well,
no.
What was it?
No, it was
Coney's game.
Cone's,
Coney's game.
The second
Oh,
last
Coney's.
out, he
Lost
came
it
in.
in the
Yeah, he
sun
like kind of
almost.
lost
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
sun,
that's
and he
what it was,
looked
yeah.
like he had.
And he also
Yeah.
stole Jeter's glove, didn't he? Is that
No,
No,
that
that's
was
Ruben Rivera.
Yeah, that's who it was, yeah.
I
Sorry,
looked-
Ricky.
I was looking at his stuff today, not even close to this conversation. How about Melky? 285 career hitter. He got in some trouble with some steroids or whatever, but joined the crowd. 144 dingers, just markedly better than this guy Hicks. How about Gardy, who only played 14 years? I thought it was more than that. Gardy, 256, a surprising 139 homers. That's an average of 10 a year,
How many
right?
steals?
274.
And he played every day, too. That's
And
the
he
thing.
wanted to, and if he didn't, he's banging the top of the dugout with a fungo or something and pissed off.
His
about it.
lifetime average was below 260, huh? Surprised
What's
by
Melky Cabrera, the last Yankee to do?
Cycle.
that. Hit the cycle, yeah.
All right, so
Against
Twins. I had no idea.
White Sox.
And then he played for them next, right? So I was telling Lottie this before. I just started looking up random guys, and like they're all like in that era. They're all like 260 to 290 like hitter. Remember the name Bernard Gilkey?
Yeah.
He's just a way better player than this guy.
Than
And I
Hicks.
know he's not a center fielder. So I thought of a center fielder, and I'm like, well, this is probably close, even though he's not a switch. Do you remember the center fielder for the Rangers by the name of Rusty Greer?
Yeah.
Rusty
Number
played
22.
only 9 years, 305,
Yeah, he was a good hitter.
120 homers. He actually threw me a bat one time, like whoever I was with, they were mucking it up during BP. Rusty. Were you with me?
No.
He came over and threw us a Cooper bat. Gave it away as a prize at like a baseball camp or
Did
something.
you say his career average is 305?
305, and he only played
That's
9
legit.
years. I didn't have the time to look it up, but like something had to happen to him. 305, 9 years.
Remember that team? I mean, they could
Yeah, I
all
do.
rip.
Michael Young, Beltran,
Michael Young was a really good player.
Ivan Rodriguez,
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
And was it Dean Palmer at third?
Yep. Threw the ball away.
Yeah, thank you. On the bunt.
Juan,
Man,
Juan
they could
Gonzalez.
hit. They could hit, but then the Yankees in the playoffs
Palmeiro
would.
played for that team?
Yeah.
I think Will Clark was on that team instead
Well,
of
actually,
Palmeiro.
Will,
Yeah,
yeah.
you might be right. You might be right.
Don't
Juan
get me
Gonzalez
started on the
from-
natural.
He might have invented steroids too.
You know how
Jeez.
good that team was, and then the Yankees would play him in the playoffs, and they couldn't hit.
Hamilton? No, he wasn't on that team.
I'm just saying that
Daryl Hamilton, yeah.
Our
He
pitching
was on
staff
the
was
96
unbelievable.
Rangers.
he was on 96.
Macklemore?
Mark McLemore, yeah. Good call.
What? I'm sorry, Lottie. What were you saying?
No, they would put up these numbers, and then they
run
faced the
into-
Yanks in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and we beat them 2-0, 3-2.
Yeah, they Astroed us.
Sweep 'em.
We
Yeah.
Astroed them.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a little warm up because Stay Hot Cash. Who'd you rather? Any of those guys or Hicks?
All of the
I'll
above.
take
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those guys. Yeah.
Okay. We're throwing a change up here for Who'd You Rather. We're going to go start 'em, sit 'em, cut 'em. I'm going to give you 3. You could start one, so in your mind, your best. The other one, second best. And your least likable one, third. And I got some tough ones here.
Crocker's in here too.
Angry Jay, you're going first here because you brought this up. You kind of led me into it. Olympics, World Cup soccer, Ryder Cup golf. Start one, sit one, cut one.
It's pretty easy for me. The Olympics is the getting a start. Even nowadays, I mean, back in when we were kids, that would have been by a landslide.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go. I'm benching the Ryder Cup, and I'd rather pour Clorox in my eyes than watch the World Cup. So it's getting cut.
Wow.
Clorox.
Wow, that's
I've actually
that's,
done that. You might want to rethink
That's
that.
pretty deep, man.
Dahnfather, go.
It was just a question.
I am going to start the Ryder Cup, bench
Jesus.
the Olympics,
Jesus.
and cut the World Cup.
All right.
Commish.
I'm going to follow along the lines of Jason, the angry one. I'm going to say soccer's definitely cut. And then Olympics, and then Ryder Cup.
Our studio audience is beside themselves right now.
Lottie, what do you got?
I'm definitely starting the Olympics. I'm definitely sitting the World Cup, and I'm definitely cutting anything that's golf related, unless Olivia Don is playing,
How about Joe Peichel?
and Joey, obviously.
All right, so I'm going to follow Lottie. Olympics gets the nod. World
I like
Cup,
the World
coming
Cup,
off
man.
coming off the pine, and Ryder Cup. You got no shot, buddy.
What do you got, Crocker?
Oh, come on. There's got to be a soccer guy somewhere. I'm starting.
Yeah, in hell.
I'll sit the Olympics, and I'll definitely cut the Ryder Cup outside of the Peichel and Don families.
All right,
well,
fair enough.
okay.
Fair enough.
Everyone's got their interests.
Let's talk hoops. Start one, sit one, cut one. Steph, Luca, Jimmy buckets. Steph, Luca,
Who's going?
Jimmy buckets.
I'll go.
Lottie.
I'm gonna start Curry. I'm gonna sit Butler, and I'm cutting Luca.
Commish.
I don't care what anybody says. Not a fan of that guy.
I'll sit Luca. Start Butler, and bring Curry off the bench.
Oh, we're going for offense. Instant O.
I am going to start Luka, bench Butler, and cut Steph.
All right, I got to ask you why? How? What?
What?
Top 15.
No,
player
I
of all
want to
time,
ask you
man.
what your thinking
What,
is.
is it
That's-
all time or is it like today?
whatever you want it to be, but I
whatever
still
you
want to
want.
know what your thinking
I
is.
still think Luka's a top 6-7 player in the league. I'd rather have him on my team than Steph.
How many playoff games has Luca won?
With the second best player being who?
No, I'm asking you a
Steph's
question.
won with a super team every year. So
Jimmy,
That's not the
Jimmy
question he asked you.
Butler's roster is not exactly
I didn't
amazing
cut.
either.
I didn't cut Jimmy Butler.
I'm just saying, but you're Doncic number one. I'm just having a debate. That's all.
First half.
Last
of the
year
season,
when he
the
was
best player
hurt,
in the
Brunson
NBA.
led the team.
Who?
Last year when he was hurt, didn't Brunson play real well for Dallas?
I guess somebody else got to get the Luka. He's that guy, man. I'm sorry. He's
not a
that
winning
guy.
player. That's just me. He's not a winning player. I'm
He
sorry.
is. Give him a chance.
He's everything
Give him a
that's
player.
wrong about the NBA.
Angry.
Curry is the starter for me easily. I'm taking Butler, benching him. I'm cutting Luka too because he's fat and out of shape, and as talented as he is, like I don't think you could win with the way he plays. And I'm not so much blaming him. I do think he's an incredible talent. I'm not, but something's got to change. And yes, he needs better teammates, but the way they play, and like I don't think he takes it serious enough yet.
You think he's fat and out of shape?
He's fat. And look at his
He's
face.
a shorter version of Jokic, but Jokic gets up and down the court the whole game.
He's a guard. One guy's a center. One guy's a guard.
So I said he's a shorter version of Jokic. You'd think Jokic is a big fat guy, but he gets up and down the floor all game. He
I
ain't
actually
fast,
don't.
but you
Well,
know,
one guy plays guard though. Like I just no, it's not working for me. Again, I think he's super talented. I mean, I'm not. He can't figure it out.
Yeah. Start Steph, sit Jimmy, cut Luka. There's something about Luka that I don't have it for him. I mean, he's pretty good, but this isn't pretty good guys.
No,
we're
he's
talking
really
about.
good.
We're talking about one of the most skilled players to ever put sneakers on, in Steph Curry. And then we're talking about one of the tough guys that could have played in any era, and there's not a lot of those guys out there. Not anymore. The guys that could play in any era. Anyway, let's go to some taller guys.
Can I crap on Jimmy Butler for a second because he's been crapping on my team? As great as he is, and he's been murdering the
Love to hear it,
the,
yeah.
the Celtics. And he's getting all the love in the world, and he just he's been great in the playoffs. He hasn't won anything ever either, and he's forced his way out of a couple teams. So I just want to mention that. Like I know he's getting all the love, and now Jaylen Brown's getting killed, and Tatum and all these guys. Jimmy Buckets might want to win something too because Tatum's made a finals too.
that's a good point.
Jimmy,
Thank
you know, Minnesota, Sixers, all this stuff. But, like, I think he's looking for like-minded people, and I don't know if he's found them, but he's found people that are willing to do what he wants to do.
He also wanted to fight his coach last year. People forgot that. He actually challenged his coach to a fight during a timeout. So,
Well, an angry person should be able to, like, have some compassion for or sympathy for that or empathy for that because your emotions sometimes get the best of you. And Spo, every once in a while, looks like
Spo didn't have any problem with it either.
He did.
If you remember, he kind of liked it.
Yeah.
He supports that kind of stuff in his organization.
Yeah. So I don't know what Angry's talking about. Let's go taller guys now. And this is going to be tougher. This is going to be really tough. Start him, sit him, cut him. You got Giannis, Embiid, Jokic. I don't care if they're the same type of player, this or that. You get to start a team. You get to start one, sit one, and one you can't have.
I'll
so
go.
you get two of them.
I'll start because it's easy. I'd start Giannis, sit Jokic, cut Embiid.
Same.
I'm with you 100%. I just wrote down the same exact thing.
I'll agree with those guys. Giannis for me is
Same order.
I think Jokic is the best player right now, but Giannis is a little younger, and that's all. And
he won one already.
And Embiid's not a winning player either. He's again super talented like Luka. Got to show me a little more in big spots.
Bobby Mack, you think Embiid goes back to Philly? Now that just you mentioned the name,
Yeah.
or anybody?
Yes,
You
I
think
do.
he's going back? Okay.
Somebody
knows?
would be making a disastrous mistake to. I don't know why guys move around so much. Like the Suns were going to be like this great team as soon as they got Durant. They were terrible. Like just stay where you are.
Yeah, all
you got
these
something going.
all these rumors come out right away, and the big rumor is Knicks. I want no part of them as a Knicks fan because then you got to give up 4/5 of your team anyway. I wouldn't do it.
Well, Bobby, what would you pick?
I just switch up with Jokic and Giannis, and I definitely get rid of Embiid, which is sad to me because his skills remind me again of an old school center, and not like Artis Gilmore, like a good center. Like he has the skills of a great center.
Embiid?
Yeah, he has the skills of a great center from the old days when it was tough.
Back to the
But
basket.
He's
yeah.
just such a jerk. But Jokic, best player on the planet at the moment. And I don't love his slow butt game. Like it China's like, Jesus. But like,
great passer.
he's so much bigger than he's able to do that. Like
We don't get to watch him, right? How many times have you seen Jokic
I
play
know.
this year? Before the playoffs, I might have seen one game.
So like 4 or 5 years ago, like I would stay up if the Warriors were on at 10:30. But pre-COVID, I was staying up for every Warriors game, no matter what was going on. But you know, you don't set your clock to Denver. You know, like Jamal Murray's coming on and Jokic. Nah.
By the way, angry Jokic and Giannis are the same age.
Oh, they really? Like Giannis is
28.
I didn't know that.
He just looks 8 years older.
My bad.
Something about Giannis is annoying me recently, just like the yankiness to him with an injury, and I mean playoffs. I mean,
Is he a buck for life?
Yes.
yeah, it'd be silly not to. Let's talk NCAA coaches hoops. Start one, sit one, cut one. We are talking Jay Wright with a double-breasted suit. We are talking a Hooner chewing gum very fast, and we're having Coach K hugging his guys up, and I mean spooning them. Loddy?
I'm just
You're
going.
leading
I'm
off.
going personal preference, not records and national championships. Starting Wright, sitting Calhoun, and cutting K. That's just personal preference.
Jeffrey.
Starting right. Benching Calhoun.
So sitting who? You could say it.
Coach K.
All
I'm
right.
not a dookie. I mean,
No, you could say. I know, but you could say it. Commish.
I'm going to start the Hooner, Jim Calhoun, put K on the bench, and tell Jay Wright, sit down, buddy.
You're fired.
Great coach, but those guys are legends.
Legendary coaches, Angry Jay.
I'll go Krzyzewski. Starter. I'll bench Calhoun and Jay Wright gets cut.
I'm gonna surprise you because there's times I didn't love him, but I got to start the Hooner. It seemed like he has less ingredients than these other guys. Jay Wright had to work a little harder, and he kind of like, I wouldn't say invented, but like he really made a 3-4 guard offense cool. So I'm gonna sit him and Coach K just for that weaselly little weasel face. He's cut in any contest. He is cut.
How good are Jay Wright's guys in the pros?
Well, two
Cal
of them.
Bridges and Brunson, and even like DiVincenzo. Like these guys just come out of nowhere and know how to play. Very fundamental.
Hey, how about this, guys? Glavin, Maddox, Smoltz pitched on the same staff. Take the whole body of work into account. Start one, sit one, cut one.
I'll go Smoltz, then Maddox, and Glavin's out.
I'm going Maddox. I'll go Glavin 2, Smoltz 3. Start
I'll
cup.
go
Start
Maddox.
bench cup.
Smoltz, sit Glavin.
I double up on Commish's picks.
Maddox is a genius.
Three Hall of Famers, by the way.
The stories about them golfing on their off days and betting and being so competitive were kind of cool. Steve Avery probably hated it, but didn't our Mike Stanton pitch on that staff? And was he a starter at the time?
No, he was a reliever.
He was a reliever with high tops, right? Black
Yep.
high tops. I mean, you got to go Maddox. I'm going to go Maddox, Smoltz, and I'm cutting Glavin. I can't believe I'm cutting a lefty, but Smoltz did it on both ends. Starter, reliever, I mean, amazing. Willie Randolph, Cano, Soriano. Go.
I'll take Willie first.
So is this just on, like,
Don, whatever you want. Just explain why.
Willie first. Oh, God. Soriano. Oh, God, that's a hard one. Cano. Said Cano.
all right, so I'll go. I'll go Cano start because I thought he was a phenomenal hitter. I'll go Willie bench just because I loved him as a kid, and Soriano cut because he couldn't field, but was a pretty damn good hitter.
I'm going to go Cano first also. Soriano bench. I love his swing. I mean, that guy's hack was unreal. And I'm benching Willie Randolph. He was so boring.
Cano, definitely number one. Would have been a Hall of Famer if he didn't screw it up. Willow, number two, easily, and not a Soriano guy. He reminded me of Danny Tartable in big games. He couldn't hit anything on the outside half of the plate. So, see you, Alfonso.
Yeah, I'll go Willie. Willie number 1. Watching games with the antennas, Phil Rizzuto. He had to work to get that telecast in. Cano, definitely number 2, one of the best second baseman hitters of all time. He ruined it. Soriano would be my number 2 because I thought he was, he was able to go to the outfield, still do a good job, play for multiple teams, has over 400 home runs. But as Loddy said, that series against the playoffs or against the Red Sox in the playoffs, he was swinging at balls that were like 6-8 feet away from like where he was swinging.
Like 2 strikes, you just walked away. You're like, let me go back to the fridge with 2 strikes.
Only once. All right, Pettit, CC, Guidry.
Gator 1, easily. Pettit 2 and CC 3rd. No knock on CC, but for me, he doesn't compare to those other 2 lefties.
Who's up?
You.
I'll go Guidry, CC, Pettit.
I'll go Guidry, Pettit, CC.
I am going to go CC because he hit that guy. Dude, he forfeited money and he was done, end of his career.
They gave it to him.
I love that.
Doesn't matter,
I
man.
love that about him, by the way.
What a teammate. Love him. I take Gator second, and although I love Pettit, the connection with Roger just taints it for me.
Yeah, so I'm going anti what you did. I'm going Pettit 1 because I loved the stare, and he was great in big games. The only blemish on him is that brief stint with the Astros, but he came back, and he was still awesome when he came back. Hall of Famer, by the way, if he didn't hang out with Clemens for a little while. I'll go Guidry, too, just because they were Yankees. And I love CC, but his career is a little overrated as a Yankee. Because he was awesome for the first 3 or 4 years they had him. He was everything that they wanted and they needed, and he was big time for those 4 years. But his last 5,
You're right.
6
You
years,
go check
he
the
was
stats in the second half of that career. They very, very average.
But it was cool when he hit that guy.
Yeah.
Is he a surefire Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well,
CC?
Yeah.
here's another thing about CC, and I'm never going to argue your opinions, but I wasn't just going Yankee on that one. Like, when he was hitting home runs down the stretch for the Brewers that year, I think that was one of the most special things in baseball. It might have only been like 2 homers, but like he was starting, he's in a lineup, and he's hitting homers. Didn't they bat him not ninth one of the games?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was pitching on 3 days rest too.
He put that team on his back for the second half of the year.
Big back. All right. I'm going to let Loddy go first.
251 wins for a career, 3.74 ERA.
He's in.
What did Guidry end up with?
I don't know. I have to look.
Lightning?
That one up. I'm trying to look up how many strikeouts did he have?
Wrestling
CC,
Gators.
yeah,
dude.
CC over 3,000 strikeouts too.
He's in.
Yeah. Gator. On the Bayou.
Number 49.
On the Bayou. All right. Thurman Munson, Carlton Fisk, Mike Piazza. Our 3 local
Are
teams.
you being serious
Well,
with
I
this
know you
question?
got first. The other 2 I'm interested in.
The captain is number 1. I mean, easily. Oh, Fisk. I did like Fisk and Piazza. In that era, all that stuff that was going on, I think he was certainly involved.
So I'm gonna jump back to Gator real quick. Since we were talking about him, 170 wins. CC had 80 more Ws, but Gator's winning percentage was better at 651. His ERA is also 3.29, and for strikeouts, CC was almost 3,100. Gators at 1778.
Angry Jay, you got year for year on there. I don't want to bore the audience, but just read off the 1978 season, please.
So
how many 171 wins? And he's in the Hall of Fame, right, Guidry?
no.
He's not.
Ron Guidry's 1978 season, 25-3, or the 893 winning percentage. He won the 163rd game against the Red Sox, a 1.74 ERA, 9 shutouts, 16 complete games, 273 innings. 248 strikeouts, but people don't remember. The next year, he actually led the league in ERA again.
That's the Gator.
Well, here's the thing about
pitched,
the Gator.
They pitched complete games back then.
He weighed about as much as CC's right side.
Yeah, he weighed 55, 160 pounds.
All right. So Thurman, Fisk, Piazza, Dahnfather up.
Piazza, Fisk, Thurman.
Well, how can you do that? Third?
Yes.
Captain.
Because, I mean, you got to watch him play. I mean,
If winning counts, I'm going Thurman 1. I go Fisk 2, Piazza 3. He was such a bad defensive catcher, and he was a steroid abuser.
Commish.
My inclination is to follow what the angry one just said. Thurman, Fisk, Piazza.
I'm going to switch up Fisk and Piazza. Thurman's number 1. Piazza, just a crazy offensive
He was.
career. And Fisk, I'll never forgive him for tagging out Bobby Meacham and Dale Berra on the same play. So he's cut for me.
Pinella kicked his ass
Yeah.
during the 76 Pro.
All right. High school.
Dahnfather, real quick. Favorite Red Sox of all time for you?
Dwight Evans.
I like it.
Number?
I like that one.
24.
Oh, he didn't know it.
You know
I was about to say
He said it to
24.
me.
He knew
Whispered
it.
to me.
I
45
respect
afterwards.
that. I like
What
that.
was
too.
Jim Rice's number?
You already asked on something to show.
I'm
I
asking
didn't know
again.
it the first time either.
All right. That's embarrassing.
That was
I'm going to buy you a
14, yeah.
jersey, but that's embarrassing.
Who did Dewey play with after the Red Sox?
Angels?
That was Fred Lynn.
Fred Lynn, yeah.
Indians?
Baltimore.
Yes, sir. Loddy.
Look at Lottie. All right.
I like Dewey. I give the Dahnfather credit on that call.
How about high school, college, or your working life? What was better?
I don't think we should have asked these questions.
What do you got?
High school, college, and work in that order.
College, high school, and work.
I'm gonna follow the Commish. I'll go college, high school, work.
I agree. College, I was there for 7.5 years, so it was great.
I'll do the same as you guys, but here's the thing. Youngsters listening, can you just can you
some fun
enjoy
in high
this
school,
time?
man.
As long as you stay safe, enjoy this time, and then leave wherever you grew up.
Croc went to the same high school as me. I know he liked high school too.
All right.
Right, Crocker?
Right.
Aikman, Rogers, Manning, Peyton.
I'll go
Aikman, Rogers, Manning.
Manning, I'm starting. Rogers, I'm benching. Aikman, I'm cutting.
Idiot.
I'm with you. I'm with you in
Get
that
outta
order.
here.
I'm with you in
You're
that
gonna
order.
throw the
Yep.
ball more than 20 yards.
No, I'm sitting Rogers. Peyton, Aikman, sitting Rogers.
Angry?
I'm gonna go Manning because I mean he was awesome. And I'll go Aikman. I mean I hate Aikman because he's a cowboy, but I can't take the Joey Darkness anymore and go away at some point. Can he retire?
He did. He went to the Jets. All right, we're just about done.
You didn't answer.
Aikman, and
Aikman, Manning, Rogers. I mean, I'm going Super Bowls, man. Let's go. All right, we gotta have one food one in there, and then the Irish in me is gonna go fries, baked or mashed, and you know what food I'm talking about. Fries, baked or mashed.
I'll go first there. I'll go with the baked potato because it's underrated. Fries is bench and mashed potatoes are disgusting. Just look at them, dude. Horrific food. It's like having a hot dog.
I
Jeez.
disagree. I'm going mashed,
Oh, brother.
fries,
I'm at the
and
wrong
baked.
table.
I'll go fries, baked, mashed.
mashed, fries, baked.
Tough for me
You
here.
unhealthy bastards.
I know what you're going for your starter.
Yeah, fries.
Every time I see you eating them.
I'll go baked and mashed. Underrated dinner, by the way. We were gonna do the baked potato bar tonight, and then we had unknown guests coming over, so went right to pizza. But we do that all the time, man.
Mashed potato.
I thought you meant for the podcast. We're going to have dinner for us.
Oh, I would do that. That's easy though. I mean, little Instapot. You got them done in about 20 minutes.
I don't like the skin on the potatoes. Big.
I prefer it. I love the skin on them. All right, what's your favorite baked potato condiment?
Sour cream.
Butter.
Ooh,
Sour cream.
Probably.
But you gotta do
Cheese.
You just do them both.
Huh?
I just do them both.
Well, I can't. I'm just gonna say bacon because you guys took all the other good ones. All right, Madonna, Whitney Houston, Taylor Swift.
In what regard? What are we doing?
performers.
Performers.
I'm going to go first on this one.
Was it Madonna? Taylor Swift, who's it on?
Whitney Houston.
In terms of singers,
Yeah.
I'm going in terms of what I just saw on my Facebook this week. Everyone in the world I know was at Taylor Swift this weekend.
yeah, including
I couldn't
some.
believe it.
You know
The
something?
amount of-
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm going to say her first because I didn't know she was that popular. My kids put it on the TV just to show her singing in the rain, and I knew some of the songs. To Whitney, not a Madonna fan at all. So that's my picks.
I'm gonna go Whitney one just because of the Super Bowl song, because she was awesome in that. But
How about One Moment at a Time with Abbott?
all right, so that's
Who won that Super Bowl she sang? in?
Short-handed.
I don't
Blue.
remember.
It's the Giants.
Big Blue.
Yeah, I remember, dude. But it was the song, and at the time it like meant something. I'll go Taylor Swift too. I don't know any goddamn songs either, but I saw she's an Eagle fan, so all right, Taylor. And who was the other clown? Oh, Madonna. Nah, she's out.
I'm with you. Whitney by far number one.
She looks like Ron Karkovice now. Did you see her? Oh my god. She
Number?
was like
Number?
I don't know.
My daughter was at the Taylor
27?
Swift one
Taylor
on
doesn't look like
Saturday.
Ron Karkovice, though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
3.5, 4 hour shows
3.5,
because
yeah, in the rain.
a couple of daughters were there.
Yeah.
Wives too. So
Wives.
I'm gonna go. You got to go Whitney Houston number one. I mean,
You
her
have to.
Her nickname is The Voice. I mean,
Yeah, but the end of her career.
Oof, yeah.
well, she smoked her kneecaps off for sure. But
Well, Bobby Brown didn't help.
He did not
I mean,
help.
come on, Bobby, you got to be better.
no, Whitney blew it. She was
How old
awesome.
was she? How old was she when she kicked?
I'm gonna say like late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, early.
Older than
I'd say mid to late 40s, right? But not,
Really?
That's a guess.
And then didn't one of her daughters die the same
Yes.
way she did, like drowning
Yep.
or something?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna go back here. I got Madonna too. I mean, Borderline, one of the best songs ever. Papa Don't Preach. You kidding me?
Body of Evidence. Watch that movie.
Unreal.
Wasn't
That's-
border? Hey,
She's in Vision Quest. too.
Vision Quest was,
Vision Quest.
was,
There
was
you go.
borderline.
Yeah. You're not.
sir.
You
I
mean,
switching?
Great movie.
I might. I mean, Vision Quest. Didn't that win Best Picture?
Loud and swing.
Never seen it.
He still hasn't.
Whitney
seen
was
it.
48.
40,
Oh wow, you guys are right. And believe it or not, even though she broke the internet and probably set world records for resale value of tickets, I'm cutting Swift.
What does she sing? Like, you got a song? Name one.
Shake it off.
Do it,
Is that what it is?
Dahnfather.
She
Do
sing
it.
the song about like
I don't even.
Play is gonna
I
play,
think I've
play,
heard
play,
that.
play, play.
That's her.
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet song or something like that too, like some slow song,
Sounds awesome. All right,
like a virgin.
that's Madonna.
Lucky star.
Bigger head, Dahnfather Sabonis, like the old guy, the father.
Arvidas.
Arvidas. What's the guy who played? Okay, yeah, or Matsui. Honestly,
Sabonis-
if you're a
Sabonis
new
bigger
era,
head.
who do you hate seeing coming?
Sabonis, bigger head.
Bochy, writing candidate.
Oh, I was gonna say Michael K is start. Michael K is start. Sabonis bench and
Yeah, Sabonis. I'll go Sabonis over Matsui. Matsui had other stuff going on his face too, didn't he?
The side
His
version.
head was
Yeah, it's
huge.
Like,
he had a sweet haircut. Remember the ball he
he
threw
looked
into
like what is it?
he
Shem?
threw into the left field seats against the
Was
Red
it
Isn't it
Sox.
Chinese food
is it
place
Shem?
and left in
He
Fenway?
looked like
Yeah,
Shem.
that long lost stooge
Like,
there. Shem.
keep your helmet on, Matsui. Jeez.
He could hit though.
He had
dude.
it parted in the middle. Like,
They
what
should've
the-
made
come
him hit with
on.
a face
He could
mask.
hit. He
could hit.
with his white bat.
Oh, God, no
Pedro
sideburns.
knows he can hit. Too.
How about the bat like going straight up too? Like he had the weirdest stuff going on.
Jeter? Loved him.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like when Jeter got a ceremony at Yankee Stadium for like the 25th time,
had to have.
he was at
Matsui.
all 25. Matsui. Him and Ice Williams.
They did do 3. He's dead. Right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, I wonder what his numbers are like compared to Hicksy. Next week.
Nah,
All right.
I think Hicks was better. Actually.
May 23rd, 2023, Loddy and Mac on the SAC. Angry Jay brought the angriness. Not really. Kind of docile.
I could.
Dahnfather, I thought we had
I
more
can bring it
trivia
if you
coming.
want.
The Commish, very calculated. And the host and studio owner, Loddy, not happy about the Knicks. To all our sponsors, keep those checks coming in. Crocker with the late appearance. Don't be afraid to tell the Hartford to send a check. And we'll be into the NBA Finals next week. We'll talk about that. And high school tournaments will be in full swing. Shout out to the Wilkett Techs. What's their
Wilcox Tech.
mascot?
Wildcats.
Indians.
Wildcats now. Yeah, they were the Indians.
Lacrosse.
The Wilcox Techs Wildcats, ranked number 1 in Class Double-L. They won't lose that. They've finished at 1. We're hoping they draw like Ellis Tech in round 1, but like, what about lacrosse?
Eastern Central Girls state tournament this weekend.
Oh, we got qualifiers in lacrosse, Bristol lacrosse. Both teams?
Yeah.
Both teams co-op.
Both teams make it.
Eastern and Central both in.
Girls, but boys they're co-op, and then next year the writing's on the wall.
Baseball for Eastern. Is Eastern in?
Eastern,
No.
nah, they needed to win 3 and they lost last night.
St. Paul have a good year.
Shame. Oh, St. Paul's good. Yeah. But maybe we'll see each other in the tournament.
Maybe.
Our big guy's down, so
What's this hour stuff? Who are we talking about?
it's the BC Rams.
And Wilcox
Mike's-
Tech in the
Wildcat, Chargers, Wildcats, Indians.
Chargers,
Yeah.
there.
Good luck to all the student athletes.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.